Hello and welcome to another edition of the Father and Son Pastime Podcast. I'm Patrick.
I'm Cavan.
That's my dad.
How are you?
Dad, today we are doing what I think a lot of people have been looking forward to. I've been waiting for it. It's the Father and Son Draft.
And you have been looking forward to this. Great idea.
I love drafting, and obviously we are the Father and Son Pastime Podcast, so this is an easy idea here that we're going to be drafting, well, great father and son duos that have played Major League Baseball.
There's plenty of them, too, by the way.
There's a good amount. There's a few Hall of Fame, either dads or a few Hall of Fame sons. No, not yet at least. No Hall of Fame sons and Hall of Fame dads.
Correct.
So we could
Very
have
hard
one.
to do.
We could. The only thing that I can see as a possibility is the Guerreros, but it's still too early to tell for Vladimir Jr.
Having a good year.
Having a great year. Having an MVP-like year if it wasn't for Ohtani. But we're not talking about Ohtani. We're going to talk about Guerrero and his dad and other dads and sons and dads just like us.
And we're Hall of Fame candidates as well in our own mind.
Podcast Hall of Fame, sure. You know, well, this is a side tangent, but there's like an International Podcast Day coming up, so you never know. Hall of Fames could happen with everything. Back on track, everybody. Really, again, we've had a few rules for the other drafts. Rules kind of simple. Father and sons are package deals. We're a package deal. ESPN, you can't take me over him. You can't take him over me. We're together.
We can talk about that.
Get out of here. So just like these fathers and sons, they are together. So obviously I am wearing, and well, if I could be wearing two shirts, I would. The Griffeys. You can't just pick Junior. You can't just pick his dad. You have to take both. So your draft will consist of two players really around, and you got to kind of plug and chug where they go in the field. Will there be some versatility? Absolutely. Will there be some players that have only played one position their whole life, and that's where you got to put them? Sure. You could make one really great lineup out of this, but when you're trying to draft and face each other and see who has the better lineup, you're going to have some stars, and you're just going to have some okay people. You have some people that wouldn't even make our Hall of Very Good drafts. So kind of with that being said, you know what we do here? Is we draft or we pull a card out of a deck, and whoever has the higher card gets to go first. I am bringing the shirts for hopeful luck this time that I get to one day go first, and I will 100% be honest I will take the Griffeys if I get the first draft or the first card. Dad, I'm cutting the deck. Where would you like it?
I'll take... You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take the top card.
He's taking top card. It's a king, and I'm mad.
Oh.
Okay. Well, the good thing is, it sucks. I'm 0-3 on these card pulls. All right.
I pulled two aces out of the
I know. I just
and I took the top card.
I know. Mathematically, it's tough. I did, however, plan for this because I just assumed I would not.
Let me pencil them in as we speak.
Go ahead. Draft them, Dad. You get to go first with the draft.
I'm going with the Griffeys, of course.
That makes sense. Do you know where you're putting Dad yet? Do you know where you're putting Senior?
I'm going Ken and Junior center and Dad in right.
Okay. Makes sense. His dad did play all over the outfield, so if you need to move him around, let me know. Big X on my favorite player ever. Great! Not wearing his shirt. All right.
Should have worn another shirt.
No, I shouldn't have. He's wearing the father and son shirt, so good for him. I do think there are a lot of top-tier choices. There's limited spots. I'm going to go with the Tatises. I'm going to go with Fernando, his dad, at third, and his son at short. We'll see where this shakes out in the draft, but I think it's the only time I have dad and son playing next to each other in the whole diamond. So I'm drafting a young, I believe, 22-year-old Fernando Tatis Jr. So I get another junior, just of a different generation. So Tatis is where I start the draft. Shortstop and third base covered.
Beautiful. I'm going to do something very different, by the way.
Okay.
I'm going with the Biggios.
That makes sense. One's a Hall of Famer.
Correct, and I love the versatility of both those players. I can plug them in as time goes on, and Craig played 3 positions. His son plays 3 positions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So basically, I have that, and then I can plug them in. I'm going to put one at second base right now, and then I think at right now I'm putting Craig temporarily Sr. behind the plate.
It was not Senior because Craig and Cavan.
Okay,
But Daddy Biggio.
Right.
Okay. All right, so no more Biggio for Patty Pat. So you got your catcher and a second baseman's son.
Or another outfielder. We'll see.
Well, Cavan doesn't really. I guess he could. Yes, he really has played everywhere this year for the Blue Jays.
Correct.
All right.
You like that versatility, don't you?
Yeah. Now you have two basically back-to-back Hall of Famers, and I have none, so I feel a little pressure to go get a Hall of Famer. All right. That sucks. I just need a center fielder like I need a hole in the head. I will go. I'm going to stick with the juniors. I'm going to go Vladdy and Vladdy, the Guerrero's father and son.
Great choice.
First Hall of Famer for me. Obviously, Vladdy Sr. will be my right fielder. And then right now, I don't know where to put his son. I'm thinking I'm going to put Vladdy Jr. at first, but he could go to DH. He won't be going to third. He might be going to third. I don't know. I could put with DH as Fernando Tatis Jr. So we'll see. But obviously his dad's in right field, and I'm pretty locked in with that.
Beautiful. All right. My turn?
Yep.
I'm going with the Perez's. I'm putting Tony at first base and his son Eduardo at third base.
Okay.
So Tony Perez, first base. Eduardo, or whatever.
Eduardo, I think?
Yeah, yes, thank you. At third base, and he's an ESPN candidate as well.
He's an ESPN candidate.
He's on ESPN.
As
an analyst.
I thought you were doing some sort of like top play thing.
Eduardo.
So you got the corners covered with the Suns right there.
Yep.
And then you're thinking it's going to be like second base and catcher for the Biggios. Well, I think I will also do. Yeah, I think that looks good. I think I'll also do the second base and catcher combination. I'm going to do something maybe a little different early. I'm going to do Bob and Bret Boone. I think as far as a catcher, I think Bob Boone has more Gold Gloves than Biggio at catcher, I think. Check me on that. He's obviously not a Hall of Famer. And I have to get some Mariner wearing this Mariner shirt. So I got Bret Boone and Bob Boone behind the plate. So my infield right now is set.
Okay. Well, I'm going to complete my infield with a very unique player that was a star back in the 60s, and his son wasn't bad at all. I'm going Maury Wills as my shortstop, and then his son Bump, I'm going to have him as on the bench and maybe a utility guy right now.
Okay, yeah. For those that don't know, we're going 6 rounds. We'll draft 12 players, so there could be some utilities, DH options, that kind of stuff. We are going to try to have a pitcher in this mix as well. I think I'm actually, speaking of that, Dad, I think I'm going to go pitcher. I'm going to go a starter-reliever combination in Cal and Paul Quantrill. I'm really impressed with Cal lately for the Indians. He's on my fantasy team. Don't mind admitting that. And he's quite good. He has some reliever opportunities in his past. His dad is a hell of a reliever. When Paul was on the Dodgers in the early 2000s, had one of the lowest ERAs. He was an all-star reliever. So I'm going to go with Cal and Paul Quantrill as my father-son pitcher duo.
Okay.
So I got the Quantrills, the Quans. I hit the Quan.
Okay. Good one. I'm coming up with a unbelievable draft choices late. I'm going with the Bonds. Barry in left and Bobby on the bench.
Bobby on the bench. That's tough. I was thinking about that as well at some point. You have a stellar outfield.
Yes, I do.
You know.
Yes, I do.
I think there's a DH there at some point. Okay. All right, so I'm at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I got 4. I've done 4 picks at this point. All right.
So my next pick is it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll get last pick.
Okay.
So you should be at 10 players at this point.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes.
Okay. I am thinking. Your opinion here, Dad, because you'll know this player a little bit more than I do. I think I would like to draft the Alous. I'm thinking Moises will be in the left and his dad Felipe in center. Did his dad play center?
Probably yes. He was more of a left fielder.
Okay. Well, I'll go with that.
Yeah.
There is not a lot of depth at center. Griffey is clearly the best. Honestly, I thought Biggio could be like the 2 in that position in a way.
How come Griffey was off the board?
Ha 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 ha. I'm going to... That was my just asshole laugh right there. I'm going to go...
You can't say that, it's TV.
I can say... Yes, I can. We can say whatever we want. It's YouTube.
I should joke.
I'll take the Alou father and son combinations.
Yes.
Moises and Felipe. One of them's going to center. We'll figure out in post who the hell's going to center.
Can you say Bartman?
Nope. I can't say it. He's not a father and son.
Well, my last choice is a humdinger. I'm going with Mel Stottlemyer and his son Todd.
Mm-hmm.
So I have 2 pitchers.
Yep.
And Mel being my starter is unbelievable. He was a great starting pitcher for the Yankees.
He was. He had 3 20-win seasons. He was... I was thinking about drafting them, and then I just have been really feeling Cal Quantrill this season. So we got the Quantrills, we got the Quans versus the Stotts. Let us know who wins in that pitching matchup. It's not a super exciting pitching matchup, not a Hall of Fame level. Still good. Still good. And then now I'm thinking...
Your last pick.
My last pick. A lot of options here. Let's talk about some options. So I could draft some Alomars. I could draft some Gwynns. You could get a Hall of Famer with Tony Gwynn, but I got Vladdy out there. Tony's not going to like...
That could be your center fielder.
Tony Gwynn's not a center fielder.
His son is.
His son was not that good.
Okay.
The Cruzes, shout out to Jose Cruz Jr. and Sr. That's an option. There's 3 options I'm between. It's none of the ones I mentioned. I'm thinking about the Bichettes. Dante can play a little outfield, a lot of positions. Bo Bichette's a shortstop. I don't have any infielder options.
Born in Brazil.
Jeff Burrows and Sean Burrows. Right fielder, MVP Jeff Burrows, by the way. Sean Burrows, third baseman. And I think I know what I have to do. I have the defense. I have some great average hitters. Like, not saying they're average hitters. I'm saying Moises Alou was a hitter that had a lot of average, had a little bit of pop. But I got Boone behind the dish. Bret. I got Tatis. Vladdy. I got some poppers. Actually, maybe I have too many poppers. You know what? Screw it. I got to give him credit. It's the father and son combination that, out of everyone we've drafted, this father and son have the most home runs put together, and that is Cecil and Prince Fielder. That's how I'm going to end the draft. One of them's going to be my DH. One of them's going to play first base. We may put Vladdy out in third base some days, and maybe put Tatis, Dad, on the bench. But I got some home run hitters. It's a freaking softball team, a father and son softball team. How do you like me now? I didn't get Griffey. I still think I did okay.
I did get Griffey, and I think I did really...
You got Griffey and Bonds in the same outfield.
Well, and you think about it, I think I have more Hall of Famers than you do.
Well, let's recap the list for the people at home. Dad, run through your whole lineup.
Biggio, Hall of Famer.
Are you making a lineup? Oh, you're going catcher.
No, I'm going by position.
I was about to say, Craig Biggio was a leadoff hitter, right? So
he was.
Yeah.
Tony Perez, Hall of Famer.
Is Tony Perez Hall of Famer?
Yes.
Okay. Who am I thinking that's not in the Hall of Fame that's played first base?
Don't know.
Okay.
But you can look it up.
Yeah.
Cavan Biggio, okay. Bump Wills didn't make it. Eduardo Perez, no. Barry Bonds, greatest home run hitter of all time. Ken Griffey.
Boo, steroids.
Ken Griffey Jr., probably the top 5 baseball player of all time.
Ken Griffey is the best baseball player of all time. You're just inciting me right now.
I know that. And then you got Ken Griffey Sr., very well-respected baseball player for as long as he played. You know, his son had a little more athletic ability, but Ken Griffey was a great player too. My DH would be Bobby Bonds. Very good player. Like I mentioned before, I won for Willie Mays. Bobby Bonds has been a superstar. And then for speed off the bench, I got Bump Wills. And then my 2 pitchers, I think, could really do well. Todd had a good little career as well. But Mel, I'm sure, was a Hall of very good. So I think Hall of Fame, I don't know, we can't put Barry yet. But we got Ken, we got Biggio, and Tony Perez. We got 3.
Okay, so you got 3. Recapping my list, I guess I don't have a great You just did catcher throughout. Okay, gotcha.
Right, I did positions.
All right. Well, I have Bob Boone, not a Hall of Famer, but a Gold Glover, at catcher. At first base, platooning the first base DH combo, the fielders, and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. No Hall of Famers. All Hall of Very Goods if Vladdy Jr. doesn't make the Hall of Fame.
I like my catcher better than your catcher.
That's okay. I like my catcher because he was a true catcher and he had moved to second base. Hey. I got Bret Boone at second. Just a solid second baseman right there. The Tatis is on the left side of the infield. No Hall of Fame yet, but I have a lot of All-Stars. The Alous in left and center. And then Vladdy, my only Hall of Famer, in right.
Yeah, I thought the question was how many Hall of Famers.
It's 3-1. It's 3-1. You know what? Let the people choose. That first draft is killer, I'll be honest. That first pick is so needed. I'm still happy with my team. My team gets along. It's not like, there's a
now
bunch
you're reaching.
I'm just saying my team gets along. I think
you don't
team
think these guys are going to get along?
Your team sells tickets. Absolutely, your team sells tickets. My shortstop's better than your shortstop. Fernando Tatis or Maury Wills. Simple.
Yeah, but
simple
Maury
call.
Wills.
Simple call.
And he's a best leadoff hitter you're going to find.
Who's the best shortstop in the game right now? Thank you. It's 100% true.
What was him and Machado yelling at each other about the other day? Hustling?
No. Topic for another time.
Okay.
But he was just... Machado was trying to be like a good guy.
Okay.
And try to say, like, don't get thrown out of the game because we need you to try to make the playoffs. Don't do this dumb shit.
Okay.
And...
It was maturity.
He shouldn't have been yelling it, and probably not so publicly, but Machado's trying.
Okay.
First off, Felipe Alou and Moises Alou were totally underrated players in their time.
Oh, I agree.
And
Felipe was great.
Not Hall of Famers, but that's a solid outfield. First off, I don't know who's leading off for me. I don't have really a true leadoff hitter in this bunch. I'm saying
all softball players.
Right. One of these Alous probably is going to be a leadoff hitter for me.
Felipe.
But my 3, 4, 5, 6 is going to be Vladdy, Tatis, or Tatis and Vladdy, then Vladdy Jr., and then one of the fielders.
Okay.
Go ahead.
You want to hear my 3, 4, 5?
Yeah.
Ken Griffey Jr., Tony Perez, Barry Bonds.
That's
3, 4, 5.
I'm pretty happy with my 3, 4, 5.
Who has a better 3, 4, 5?
I don't know. I think I do.
Oh.
No, because here's the thing.
Oh.
I didn't see Tony Perez play.
Oh, my God.
So I don't know how he hit.
Oh, my. You can look him up.
But I did see Guerrero play, no batting gloves. I did see, Tatis is 3. Tatis, he crushes the ball. Like with ease.
Yes.
And Vladdy Jr., if he's my 5, or Fielder is 5, Prince Fielder, if he didn't break his neck or whatever happened to his neck, would have been a Hall of Famer. He had like 300 home runs while he was 30. So, I don't know. There's a lot of father and sons that I think, got left off. I've had the Bedrosians on my list.
Yogi Berra we left off.
But his son sucked.
Okay. Ivan Rodriguez was left off.
His son just is starting.
Right, but
right.
I mean,
yeah,
he didn't make the list.
Right.
I mean, there were some... Nobody took Roberto Alomar. Did you have Alomar?
I had Alomar, but his dad also played second/short,
Correct.
so I would have probably drafted Sandy, and then I had Boone.
Yeah.
It was tough.
I don't know. I was just going to draft down Buford for you, so you could tell the story.
Nah, good.
Hal McRae and Brian McRae. Very good players.
The Cruzes, Gus Bell and Buddy Bell were also on my list.
Yeah. Charlie Hayes, always sunny in Philadelphia.
No Von Hayes. We'll get to that.
No Pete Rose?
No, Pete Rose Jr., right?
He played like a little bit, I think, for the Orioles.
I think some of these you're just looking at the average between the two dads, the father and son.
I know, but no, I'm very happy with my draft.
I kind of want to... Do you have a lineup? Like, make a 1 through 9.
Okay.
And then do you want to do DH or no DH?
We can do DH.
Okay. All right, let's do a DH. I don't know. I'm gonna go Occam's razor on this one.
I don't think you're gonna match me. Just FYI.
Okay. Well, we'll see. for my lineup, I've decided for this reason, I'm moving Tatis Daddy to the bench and Vladdy Jr. to third base. I'm giving up defense for hits.
I think I got it.
Okay. While you're finalizing it, I'm going to see if Felipe ever played center field.
I'm sure he did.
He could also manage if I needed to.
Yeah, I know. I was going to
around.
say that.
Shout out, he's still alive, 86 years old. He has 20 years experience. Then more managing. You have a true leadoff hitter. I give you that with Biggio.
Mm-hmm.
No, I didn't do that.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah, he has center field experience.
Yeah, his brothers played all over the place.
Yeah, he had 100 games in center field in '69. Yeah, I feel good putting him in center field.
He was the best of the Alou brothers.
He played a little first too.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go first. You went first to run it back.
Well, you want to draw a card?
I'm leading off with Moises Alou, lead off. 300 plus averages some of those years. He had some good years.
I know he was great with the cards.
I don't have a leadoff hitter, so I had to do it.
I know that.
Bret Boone is my two hitter. He has been a two hitter.
Okay.
And then it gets good. Those guys got to get on base. Vladdy Jr., then Vladdy Sr.
Okay.
Just, son, little chubby, getting on base. If he doesn't hit a home run, Vladdy Sr. knocking him in.
He's slimmed down since the minor leagues.
Right, he has. Then I got Tatis Jr. I got Prince. Cecil is my DH. I got Fielder. I don't know if which fielder I'm playing first.
I can see Station the Station baseball.
You know what? Felipe to knock him in. Bob Boone at catcher, batting ninth. Tatis off the bench in pitch hitting situations. And then Quantrill on the mound.
I think I got you.
Okay, hit me.
I got Maury Wills leading off. Great leadoff hitter for the Dodgers for many.
You're not playing Biggio as a leadoff?
He's going second so he can advance.
All right. We'll put it in the notes. We'll put it in the description.
Biggio's a great number 2 hitter.
Okay, I think he's also a leadoff hitter.
I agree, but I have one of the best leadoff hitters during the 60s in Maury Wills.
Okay.
You got to do a little research on him. Then I got a guy named Ken Griffey Jr. Ken Griffey Jr.?
Listen, if he only wins because he has Griffey, I'll be mad. But whatever. I think a lot of people might vote, just hear Griffey and go, done, which is probably what I would do,
Ken Griffey Jr.
Who's for? It's not senior, so who's for?
Bonds.
Okay.
Perez.
Okay.
Griffey Sr.
Okay.
Bobby Bonds. Cavan Biggio. And then Perez. Eduardo Perez.
You know what's tough? Is I think your lineup has more stars, but mine
is more balanced.
I think mine's more balanced.
No, I got true leadoff hitters with speed.
No, I think you have some big names, big hitters, but you do tail off. Like Cavan Biggio's average is like 212 right now.
Yeah, but
and then this Perez, not that good.
I got Bump Wills coming off the bench. I could do a little rotation.
I think you got a solid 7.
Yeah, but it's a damn good 7.
I think I got a better lineup.
Viewers vote.
Who wins in a matchup? Cal Quantrill.
And Mel Stottlemyer pitching.
Cal Quantrill starting. Your Todd coming in relief. My Paul coming in relief. I definitely think I got a better reliever.
Okay.
And then keeping matter of our lineups. It's close. I don't want to lose a third draft when all of these drafts have been my idea. But I may lose 3 drafts.
But think about MVPs and gold gloves and all that. I mean, I got a lot of gold gloves and MVPs in my lineup.
I know. Speaking of Moises Alou, I will transition to this. Our next draft will be the Hall of Very Good for the 2000s. Enjoy it. Thanks for bearing with us as we figure out whose lineup is better. Comment below whose who would you rather have father and son-wise? What father and son lineup is a better father and son lineup? His definitely sells more tickets.
Griffey Jr.
I'm not disputing that. I'm very glad. I almost didn't draft Vladdy. I was just like, what should I go first? But I'm glad I did now too. I forgot if Biggio was still on the board then or who I drafted.
And you pulled a king. That's got to make you mad.
Yeah, it does. At least I showed up to the fight. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you like the concept. I've never even heard of this concept being drafted before. We have some silly ones coming up. We have some silly trivia coming up. Just keep watching. Probably what we'll do next, the next upload after this, will be either a season recap, probably maybe a playoff prediction. We'll probably do a season recap after the World Series. But once the playoffs are finalized in like that early October, we'll do a little predictions because our predictions at the beginning of the season were way off, as you go back to check that out. We're lucky if we get like 5 out of 10 in the playoffs from our April predictions. But yeah, so thanks for watching. Dad, anything to add?
No, have a wonderful rest of the week if you're watching, and thanks for watching, and it's a pleasure to do this.
I will say one thing before we go, and it's rather touching. Share this with your dad if you're the son watching, or if you're the dad, share this with your son, because it's really fun after all. This is a father and son company, father and son podcast. So share really what is, in essence, our best draft, regardless if I didn't get Griffey or not. So again, share it with your target audience, which again is father and sons. This is baseball at its finest. So anytime you see a father and son on the field, celebrate them. It's awesome. It doesn't happen that often, so enjoy that relationship. And who knows, maybe you'll even have a podcast with your dad one day too.
That's nice.
Thanks for watching.